I would like to share with you how important the fable is for me as a father. I'm not talking as the author or the writer of the pedagogy. I'm really only talking about it as a father. And the first thing that I would like to address is that today we are so scared of everything. I mean, we're so scared we will not even let our kids outside anymore. We're so scared that we will not walk in the forest anymore. So the first thing is that, can we manage risk? Because the fact of life is that there are ticks in the forest. But the fact of life is also they have a role to play. I mean, they're controlling life to quite an extent. But instead of us having the fear and out of fear trying to kill, what we would like to understand is, how can we protect ourselves? How can we prepare ourselves that they don't crawl up our pants when we're taking a stop to do a leak? You know, we need to understand it's very important that we live with everyone at peace. And instead of thinking of killing them or spraying chemicals on them, we need to have the best possible strategy for us to protect ourselves and to do that in a smart way. But second, this fable is celebrating smell and senses. I mean, isn't it incredible that the tick knows the sweet smell of CO2? And although we are vilifying CO2 because of the emissions and the climate change, we have here a great opportunity to celebrate the fact that the tick knows the CO2, and the CO2 comes from our lungs. So I'm actually giving the opportunity to my child to realize that CO2 has a smell and someone can smell it. And second, ammonia. Ammonia has a very strong smell as well. And when we're going to take a pee in the forest, well, then the ticks will immediately know what it is and how it smells. So the celebration of the smell is a second very important one. And there's a small undertone in the fable. And the undertone is when the tick says, I can't see very well, but I can smell very well. The tick is not frustrated because it cannot see very well, but it celebrates its grand gift of being such a great smeller. And then it explains it needs food. I mean, we all know that in the end of the day, having healthy food and good food on a regular basis is very important for our life. And we think, of course, in meat and fish and vegetables and milk and fruits. And so we have our way of eating. But what a different way the ticks are eating. And the ticks, they're not just eating, they're eating our blood, or the blood of a deer, or a rabbit, or a dog. And the fact that there are these very different ways of using nutrition from each other, that is something that explains the ecosystem and how life is all about cascading nutrition, energy, and matter. So these three factors are the ones that I like to highlight with my children, so they get inspired by these great wonders of life, even if they imply a risk and may be a bit dangerous more than once.